What do you enjoy the most about kind of getting out on these long trips with the guys?
I think it's just a perk of the job. A good chance to travel. Like you said, come out here, get some good weather, but ultimately it's just good for the team to get together. I think important games for us. Obviously, the Kings have been having a great season, so that's our focus here today.
What have you thought of the way...
That was a good answer.
I got it.
Okay. No, I can't. If I could, I would.
What have you thought of the way Simon Benoit has sort of taken the bull by the horns here?
I think he's been outstanding. I think in the last couple of games or last couple of weeks, he's really had a chance to kind of put the player he is on display. He's a big guy that can skate well, and he likes to be physical. He's strong down low, and he can move the puck too. So, I think he's had some flashes of great stuff. But all around, he's been outstanding for us. When you see a player like that take an opportunity to play a bit more, move up in the lineup, or whatever you want to call it, and play well, that's always great.
When you have so many injuries as you guys did on the blue line, and then the guys come up and now we're competing for jobs. What's that mean for the team?
I think it's good. I think it's always good to have kind of internal competition, both in training camp and then over the course of the season. You want to be competitive. That's the nature of sports and pro sports is there's always competition, whether it's your opponent, yourself, your teammates, your line mates, your partners. It's it's on the ice, off the ice. It's always happening. So when we're able to put that into action and help the team, I think it's a good thing.
Has there been more to like from this team than maybe the results have shown in the last handful of games?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at our most recent games, there's been I think a lot of positives, and I think our game is trending in a good direction, but ultimately, you want results, and we haven't got them, so that's not always easy to look past. But I think that's just how it goes. I think you have to draw the positives and keep going.
What about your own game? Do you feel like you are where you want to be?
I feel good. You're always going to want to get better. I don't think anybody's ever satisfied with it. It's always going to be a work in progress for me. But my mind feels good, my body feels good, so I'm just trying to compete every night.
Austin named second star of the week by the NHL because of 15 goals. Yeah, thank you. What's next for him, do you think?
That's up to him. I think for him, the sky's the limit. He's a extremely special player, and we're lucky to have him.
What's the challenge of the Kings tonight?
Best defensive team in the league, best penalty kill in the league. So you got to expect going in that offense is going to be tough to come by, and they keep scores close, keep games close. So that much more pressure on us to defend well and protect our own net, and then capitalize on the opportunities that we have. So yeah, it certainly is a big challenge here for us here tonight. And yesterday I watched the first period and what they did to the Oilers in here the other night. So that's the way games can look and can start, and that's a lot of how the game went when we played these guys early in the season. So we're gonna have to be at our best, no doubt.
What stands out about Benoit's play over the last maybe month or so that maybe has allowed him to earn your trust in these situations here when trying to figure out, as everyone got healthy in the sixth defenseman?
Yeah, I think it's been generally speaking, he's just done a really good job of limiting anything against. Really stabilized our group that way. When we had our injuries and he was playing a lot and playing in some tough matchups, just seemed that he did a really good job of protecting our net and keeping the pucks and people away from our net. So that's the big piece of it. And then the other part is the obvious piece, which he's our biggest defenseman. He's our most physical defenseman. And to me, I think he just continues to get better. And even when if he makes some mistakes, he's working hard at it, and very coachable guy that we think will continue to grow within our team. So that would really, kind of summarize it.
Matthew's second star of the month, 15 goals in December. What's next for him in terms of what he can do, if there is such a thing?
I don't know. Just stay with it. He's been obviously a very good and consistent scorer in the league. I think he just needs to continue to drive our team. That's really it, and I think he's done a really nice job of that. Obviously, it was, as you and we know, it was a great December, and I thought the other night against Carolina, it's a tough night for everyone. I mean, there's not much offense out there that's available, but I thought our game in Columbus coming, just after the Christmas break there, I thought he was maybe the best he's been all season, and that's saying a lot because he's been really good. But I thought he and Mitch and Nyes in that game in Columbus was as dominant as we've seen from one line. And that's more of what we need from him, in particular when it's going to be a night like tonight and a team like this that there's not a whole lot out there happening. He's got to drive it for us.
Are you seeing signs that him and Mitch are kind of getting back to what they did in the past?
Yeah, well, like that Columbus game to me, as I said, it was a real. It was as close as it's looked to me, and when I've seen those guys at their absolute best in terms of being connected and making plays and being on the puck and just demanding the puck and being on the offensive side of the red line and with the puck and making it hard on the opposition. That was the best I've seen them together in quite some time. Like I said, Carolina the other night didn't go nearly as well for anyone, just because of the task defensively. It's just there's not as much ice available, and tonight's going to be the same. But we need them to find ways to break free against this type of defense.
Is there a benefit of Dennis joining the group and then going right out on a long road trip, just as far as getting comfortable with the guys in the group?
Yeah, I'd say so. Not something I thought a lot about, but. Getting him into practice yesterday was really important for us. That's why we sent Holmberg down for the day just to clear up the space to get Hill to be in the mix and be able to get that practice in before coming out here with us, rather than just waiting for the Samsonov situation to play out. So that was important for us. But yeah, I think, spending time with the guys on the plane. It's a long, our longest flight of the year, and that in itself gives time to see lots of faces and talk to guys and get comfortable and get a feel of life in the NHL. So, to that end, I think there's lots of positives to it.
Trevor Moore's been a King for a few years now, obviously, but do you take any pride in your role in helping him become the player he's become?
Don't spend too much time on that. Trevor's done a lot of the work himself, obviously. He really worked through what was not the most comfortable and easy adjustment to pro hockey in the American League, and really worked his way through it to become a vital piece of our Calder Cup championship, and never really looked back from there. So not surprised because of the skill level and the work ethic and attitude that he has.
Just back to Benoit, it looked in Columbus like they were continuously going out with the Matthews line. I don't know if it was as much against Carolina. Was that something you saw, and how do you feel about groups of five?
In some cases, you're looking for it, especially if you're really trying to generate some offense. And sometimes it works out a particular way because of the matchup you're looking for on the ice with the opposition, with the other team, and sometimes those things conflict, and you kind of got to get away from them because you're trying to generate offense or whatever it might be. Certainly, but we don't like to put Benoit in too many offensive situations, quite frankly. But more of a reflection of some of the matchups and the opponents that we're playing against. So we do like Benoit's ability to play against some of the other team's bigger players, and that's sort of how that that works out. We haven't talked much about the groups of five. I mean, we trying to get Rielly out in as many of his own face-offs with Matthews or Tavares as we can. That's something we talk a lot about. But aside from that, it's really just probably happenstance more than anything.
Will you make a decision on Dennis tomorrow after the game tonight?
Yeah, it'll be more about where Jones is at. It's less to do with Dennis at this point, but more so with Jones and how he does today, or how he feels after the game today, and what the game looks and feels like, and probably going into tomorrow. But today's another chance for Hill to get out there and work with some of our guys and with Curtis, and like I told him, his job while here is to be ready at any particular time. So that's what he'll continue to do.
So just real quick. Obviously, with Ilya going on waivers and clearing yesterday, we wanted to get a chance to answer any questions you may have on that. and just first of all kind of explain the process here and the plan. So obviously we know Ilya's gone through a difficult time, and so when you go through this, you kind of look at a couple of options, right? You either keep doing what you're doing, which is an option, and try to work through it, or you do something different. And this plan that we looked at it, and I felt strongly that we had to do something different to help Ilya. Right? So the plan was to, obviously, in order to execute this and create the roster spot, we needed to put him on waivers. But we're going to take this week to try to use as a reset. So Ilya's he's been assigned to the Marlies. He's not practicing at this stage, and is not planning to play with the Marlies at this stage, but we're using this week to get him some one-on-one time, and he'll be working with Hannu Toivonen back in Toronto, our development team, our performance team off the ice, and really it's a physical and a mental reset, where he can get away from preparing for the next game and all the pressures, all the pressures that come with it, and just focus on, a lot of what we're seeing here is the mental drives the bus a little bit, and it's hard to correct the physical and maybe the technical side when there's a lot going on. I think there's a lot going on with them. So we're trying to, just let the air out of the balloon a little bit, give them a bunch of support, and just let them reset. And use this week as that reset. And we know there's a good goalie there. He's shown that in the past. Now we have to, like I said, you go through these stages, you have to find a way to do something different and help him. And that's sort of what the week is about. And so I just wanted to kind of explain, when he doesn't show up at Marlies practice, what's going on is, we're trying to use all the resources we can here to help him get back to where we know he's capable of getting back to be.
So when you call it a week, is that like a hard week, like you've told him he's back up, or is that something you'll reassess after a few days?
Well, the week is really because we're gone, right?
Okay.
So once we get back in, we monitor daily, see where he's at, but this isn't something where you're saying, okay, we'll scramble together on Wednesday and say, how did everything go today?
Right.
This allows him to breathe a little bit for the week. Get him out of the environment that he was in, where sometimes you're just going around on the Ferris wheel here, and just let him refocus, reset, and then when we get back, we'll see where we're at.
How was that conversation like with him, like to break that news to him?
Well, I think David, there's a little bit of a shock, right? Because all this stuff, they're professionals, they're all the rest of it, but they're humans, right? And nobody wants to succeed more than the player, whether it be Ilya or any other player. They want to have success, right? That's what they do. So, so there's a little bit of shock when you walk them through it. But he really understood. We had a lot of talk a couple days ago when we said, okay, here's what the plan is, and it's a plan to help you, right? This isn't punishment or, we need him to get back to where he's capable of getting back to, and he wants to get there. So, again, if you knew exactly all the ways to fix things, you would do it, right? We just feel this is a plan to hopefully change. It's different than what we were doing, and hopefully we think that can benefit him.
Do you anticipate him playing games there at some point?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see, Jonas. Basically, we want to take the next week and just say, okay, let's just step back. Let's get him the physical work he needs, the technical work he needs, and like I said, work with him off the ice and trying to get his mind to settle and step away from it and use all, sort of attack it from a three-headed area.
How difficult was it to actually come to that decision to bring Dennis up, just considering you don't want to necessarily rush his development and he might get thrust into a situation where he plays?
Yeah, you number one, you got to look at what's best for Ilya, and then if you go down that path, you say, okay, well, we also need a goaltender here. This isn't something where we're scared to push Dennis into anything, but when you really step back and look, Dennis had a terrific start to the year. But when you really look at the body of work, right, this is his first year in North America, and really in Dennis's case, he hasn't played a super high level of hockey over there for a long, extended period of time, right? So we want to make sure that I feel strongly that the best place for Dennis right now is where he was at, but he's also shown that he's had a really good start there. Circumstances dictated that we want to do this with Ilya. And the second part of that is Dennis has played well. So now it allows us to see him with NHL shooters. You've got a back-to-back, so it opens up potential options there. That'll be up to Sheldon and the coaching staff of how they manage that. So it allows us to see it, but we also want to be careful of how we manage Dennis as well.
Do you feel you need to look for a goalie outside the organization?
Jonas, we always look at everything, right? So this has created a situation where we think we got a good goalie. He's shown he's been a good goalie. How do we help him get back to that form? In the meantime, the manager always has to do his job of continuing to look at ways to improve the team, right? Now, having said that, I checked outside. The goaltender tree was empty. I couldn't pick one off there today. So we'll see with a little bit of sun, maybe they grow a few more. But we know we've got guys who have shown to be good goaltenders in this league. We've got we're working with Ilya to get him back to that form. Joe's had a great start to the season. We're working with him to get him healthy, and Martin's had a good career. So our depth's being tested in that position. We're going to work and try to make the guys we've got as good as they can be, and we always look to see if there's areas that can help us outside.
On the topic of goaltending, how is someone like Matt Murray doing in his recovery? It's been a little while since he went through that procedure.
He's doing well. It's a significant rehab. But he's doing there's been no setbacks. He's attacked at full steam. He's up to the stage now where I think actually, I shouldn't say this because I probably may be wrong, but I think he's actually not goaltender skated, but sort of did a public skate where he throws the sweatsuit on and kind of wanders around on the ice a little bit. So that's good progression. I mean, he's got a ways to go, but everything's been really, really positive in terms of no setbacks or he's been on track and things are going well.
Are you hopeful he could be an option toward the end of the regular season or whatever?
We just want to be careful with it. There's no pressure to get him going. It's just we want to make sure he goes about it, and when he's ready, he's ready. But it'll be, he's not on that's off on the horizon.
Is Wall or All-Star break possible?
I don't know. We may be having a better time frame, once we get back, but we'll see. What's
it say about what's your assessment of the group as you kind of creep closer to the halfway mark here and get into the new year? Yeah, I mean, as of, it's funny. If you look back at the beginning of the year, we were getting some points. I thought we were getting some points. We weren't earning some points, right? We were getting some points. We were just getting some points. Now you take the points when you can get them. At the end of the day, it's all about results in the business. I've liked their you look at the last two games, I think, but what I tracked down, we used the Carolina, I think we gave up 6 chances on 5-on-5. That's winning hockey, right? That's going to give you a better chance to have success long term. You don't get points out of the game, right? You lose the specialty game. I think when you look at what we've given up, going back even to the Columbus game and the Carolina game, that's a better recipe for success. We've got a lot of talent. We've got a lot of skill. We know that. It's the ability to check. And when we do that on a real consistent basis, top down in our lineup, we're gonna score enough. But we have to check. And you look throughout the league. Look at the team that we're playing here tonight. This is a great team. They pride themselves on checking first, and that's a big part of our success. So it's a long way of saying, Mac, getting back to your question, we got to continue with that mindset, and the results will follow.
Is the day of the short goalie over?
Is the day of the
short goalie, 6 foot and under?
Yeah, I mean, I know we all draft these. Obviously, Hildeby walked through the door. It's they're big guys. Listen, I had a goaltender in that's coming up in Calgary, and Dustin Wolf, who's a shorter guy, terrific guy. I think he's been the goalie of the year in the American League. Talent is still, paramount. But I know, the position's gotten a lot bigger. I think it's harder for goaltenders, but you see Saros in the league. It's a hard one. I still think there's room for the talented, smaller goaltender, but I think the way the game's played, the amount of traffic and all that stuff around the net, the bigger guy gives you more room, it fills more net, but I still think you'll see, the majority of guys are going to be big guys. That's just the way it is, but I think you still, you'll see smaller goaltenders if they've got that ability.